Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Recently I've been doing a project where I have to implement both types of authentications, OAuth and normal JWT based authentications. And moreover, I'm also exploring a little bit more in detail, like how authentication is implemented in Node.js. The main difference between these two types of authentication is the step of verification, that who you are to that server you are trying to log in. But in case of authentications, like there are some providers like Google, Facebook, that where you have already logged in or you have an account. But when you try to log into other websites, these providers provides your informations to that website to verify that who you are. So in the last video we set up a normal JWT based authentication, but in this video we are going to take it a bit further by adding authentication. Not only this, but we are also going to make scale up our project so that you guys can use this reusable template to implement your own strategies or own providers with this help of template according to your project requirement. So you can easily add different types of authentication strategies based on your need. So let's break down the problem. What is exactly the authentication and why do we use it, and how do we implement it using this Node.js? Let's break it down and dive right into it. So I have created the simple diagram to understand what is to understand the flow of these authentications. Here we are the users, like we us are the user, and there are some third-party server or website which have options to like login with Google, login with GitHubs, and these are the some sort of provider. We have an account already like Google and GitHub. When you initiates, when imagine that you are the person, when you want to log in into this website, instead of creating the whole new account, you see an options like login with Google or login with Facebook. And when you click on those button, what happens is that this website sends a request to a provider. Like when you click on login with Google, then this server sends a request to this Google provider asking a question about, can you verify this user? And what this Google provider does, that it's authorized this website by asking a question to us. Like it asks a question to us asking you to verify yourself, and you might need to log in into a Google, or if you already logged in, and it might just ask you to your permission, and what permission is that? Do you allow this website to use your website? And after that, when you grant that permission, then Google sends the verification back to the server with a credentials. The credential include your client ID and other profile information like your, which can be your email, your username, or some sort of your user profile informations to this server. Now the website knows who you are and allow you to log in using your Google account without needing a separate password. So in the simple terms, like authentication lets use an existing account to sign in into the app without creating a new account. So it's quick, easy, and keeps things secure because apps this website never sees your password, only the Google or Facebook does. Does that make sense? So let's implement this whole process in code, like how these providers ask us the permission, and how this server sends a verification question to the Google provider. Let's implement the whole process in a code, and also we refactor this whole overall code in a template based, like you can add your own strategies. Like I only have implemented Google and GitHub. Like you can implement your Twitter or Twitter providers, Facebook providers, and other some sort of providers that are available. Okay, let's go to the VS Code and write some sort of the code. Okay, in the previous video, we have implemented a simple authentication, JWT based authentications, and here are the routes we have implemented, like for sign up, login, and forgot password and reset password. And in the controller part, we have implemented the route controllers, um, like login and sign up features. And after the successful login, a token is generated, and this token is sent back to the client, and client sends this token through the authorization header in each request, and this verify token middleware verified that the token, and after the successful verifications, it just add the currently uh, decoded users to the request object, and this request object is accessed through each route handler middleware. And now we will implement this auth feature, authentic OAuth features, in this existing project. Okay, this will be help you to understand better about how that scaling works inside the project. Okay, for the authentications implementations, we will use the Passport.js, and this is Passport.js documentation, and this Passport.js is just like the middlewares that sets the different authentication strategies in our applications. Like we will use just in username and password, and similarly there are the different types of strategy: Facebook, Twitter, and something. Okay, for now we will use like Google strategies. Google OAuth 2. This package provides a Google provider, and it communicates with Google provider and asks for some verifications. Yes, this to implement these features, we have to install this Passport Google OAuth 2.0, and with that we can use the passport.use middleware, and inside the middleware we can add our strategies like Google strategy. For the Google strategies, we need some client ID, client secret, and callback URL. The meaning of callback URL is that it's first our website asks the permission for Google to verify the particular user, and after that the Google sends back the information through this callback URL. So Google sends back our information through this callback URL to that website. So we need to add a callback URL in the Google strategies, and after that Google sends back the information, and then this callback function run, and through the callback functions, the Google sends the information like access token, refresh token, and your profile, and this is the callback functions to handle the error or data. And after that we can simply save the data in the database, or you can do whatever you like. And through that we'll implement certain routes, like when a user leads to the auth/Google, then the passwords use the Google provider to authenticate us, and through this middleware, the Google asks you for the verification, and after that you allow, then this URL runs through the callback URL, and after that this callback is triggered, and this callback sends the information like users information. This callback add the user information in the request of body, and inside this route handler we can access that user through the request.body. Okay, we'll use these simple examples in our application, and after we implement simple examples, we'll convert this to the new template. Okay, now we have to need a passport package and passport or Google or 2.0 package. So we'll install those packages. So npm install passport and this package. After the successful installation, so we have to add the Google strategies. We'll just copy and paste in our project. So we'll add this whole in index.js file. Okay, we'll do this Google strategy, and after that we'll what it said is to use a middleware. Before that we have to also import a passport package once passport.password, and we have to initialize the password dot use. What we have to do is password dot initialize, and this middleware triggers our passport middlewares. Okay, and after that we have to, it says that we have to add the strategies like passport.use. We will use new Google strategies. Okay, I simply just copy and paste this part. What will do? Simply Google strategy. Then we will use this password middleware, use the Google strategies, and we have to need the client ID, Google client ID and Google secret ID. For to grab this information, we have to log in a Google developer tools. Where we have this, I have already created this client ID, so you have to simply go to developer console. After that, simply go to this console, but click on the console button and go to the API services, so and go to the credentials, and you have to create new credentials. So we just need a OAuth client ID, and go to the OAuth client ID. So it will just take a time. Which type of application we are doing? Web application. And okay, this is okay, and just create this. A new OAuth is created, cliented, and to grab this API, just click, and we have to authorize redirect URL. So you have to simply add in which URL we are going to redirect. So I am currently running on the port localhost port. I'm currently running localhost port 8001. So my redirect URL will be example localhost port 8001 /API /auth /Google call. So I will simply add this URL. Add this to URL, and also I will simply add our domain. Okay, and just save it. And for the to copy the client ID, just click here. This is copy and edit. So here is your client secret, and here is your client ID. Just copy and paste it in the environment variable. So I'll just already grab this secret key Google credentials and put it in the dev.env variable, and I'll just import it from dev.env variables. Okay, for the Google client ID, I'll just process.env.google Google client ID. So after that, this callback function is triggered. So through the callback function, our information is captured, like access token, refresh token, profile. We just now need a profile which contains all of the information. So simply just login console.login profile, and simply do return callback. So error is null, and send a profile. Okay, and now we have to implement the certain routes. So inside the route, we will also add what will add callback routes. So for that, authentication route dot get, we simply add /auth/Google. Do we need to add auth? No, we don't need to auth. We only just add GOG. When a user hit on that request, we will simply what we'll call just what is in the documentation. We'll just call this middleware. Okay, we'll just add this middleware, and it's done. And now we have to import just passport password required password. And for to implement this callback URL, we have to just add the similar routes which is same as the callback URL. Route.get, what was our callback URL, slash auth slash Google. Let's just look at in the dev environment, slash Google slash callback, slash Google slash callback. Okay, for this also we just need these types of middleware. These types of middleware slash login. In case of it get failures, it will redirect to the login. Redirect to the API slash auth slash login. Okay, and it need a route handler function. Let's just simply call a route handler function request.response slash next, and just console just log request.user. Okay, and simply send response dot send JSON logged in. Simply this is only we have to send only this message. Okay, for the simply to test, we only have to do this much. Okay, let's try this whether it works or not. So we have to only just entering start. Okay, what is the problem? Just now let's simply put our all environment variable in this file. Okay, copy all this and put it on the .env file. Let's try to npm start this .environment. For the token also, verified token also will use capital J PO report. Okay, this much, and we'll go to our Chrome and just hit the required API slash and we'll just this our server sends back to the Google to verify, and Google just asking us to use our profile in this application. We'll just undo this one and continue. Okay, this login sessions required, the login sessions required session. Do you forget express session? Okay, for the session management we need a express session. Just we have to install okay, Passport by default use the sessions to handle all login and sign up functionality. We need to install const SESS sessions required XPISS express session, and we need to install npm install XPISS express sessions. And simply just we have to add use SESS sessions. Simply we say session secret and something we don't need to use any cookies. A session secret in .env file. Okay, now it will find save it here. Let's do npm install. Okay, we'll just again hit localhost URL, use this and fail to serialize the URL. Okay, now and then we have to serialize and deserialize the passport functionality. Okay, what does deserialize and serialize do is that when we hit and this Google authentications, and the Google send back this information. And after we click on some of the account, and our serialization trigger out. This serialization just add a user ID to that session, and after that automatically it triggers a deserialization. And this deserialization, what does the deserialization does is that through this through this user ID, it fetches the information from some database, and after the successful fetching, and it adds the user information in request.user body, and throughout whole application we can use that information. Okay, app. Okay, passport the serializations. Okay, through this user information is grabbed through a parameter, and this is the callback function. And when, and after that it sends it add a user ID in the session, and when, and after that a deserialization automatically trigger out. This deserialization what does is that through this ID we have sent from here, and it grab the user information through a one database, and after that it add the whole user's information in the requested body, and we can grab this user information in any types of middleware. Localhost Google authentication, your stranger. Okay, well, that will we successfully logged in into the Google. And if we go to our terminals, we have this information is coming from what, this profile, and here we can see that this is the whole profile of this is the whole bunch of information coming from the Google. So Google providing these informations to the server. Okay, which includes, this is the client ID, Google client ID, and displays our name and just the raw form of information, and your pictures, account pictures. And this is from the serialization. After the successful completion of this function, it triggers the serialization, through which it grab the ID from the user information and send, and this add to the express session, and after that automatically trigger the deserialization, and through this user ID it grab the whole bunch of user information through the database and add to the requested body. Okay, so altogether will this authentications process work, but now we'll use JWT based authentications rather than session to implement sole authentication process. Okay, so we will make this whole application as a template based. Okay, so that further we can use other types of strategies just simply by adding their client ID, secret ID, and callback URL. Okay, so let's refactor the whole bunch of code. So we'll add a folder like util. Inside there we'll make our folder password.js, and simple I'll add another folder OAuth. Okay. So in the password.js function we'll just add const password, required password, and const Google. Just copy this. Okay, we'll create a bunch of object which includes our strategy that we are going to use in our application. So collection of strategies. Okay, const strategies will include just Google. We'll add Google strategy named as Google client ID, secret ID, callback. And similarly you can add multiple strategy as you need it. Okay, what we have to do is that we have to create a new instances of that strategy and put it back to the password.use. Okay, that we have to just add a iterate over this. We have to just iterate over this object and pass this strategy's property inside the password just middleware, password.middleware. Okay, inside we will create some reuse function. So const password passport equal to record.passport, and list name is setup strategy. We'll just get the information of STRA strategy, sorry, and just name is config, and after that it will add callback URL, and after that it callback function. What callback function means? That this function, okay. Auth callback, and then we simply just do some type of functionality. This passport.use will create the new instances of strategies, and what it required is that we have to pass client id, which also include in config.client id, config.this, and we have does not need to mention scope, and then we have auth callback, okay, and we'll simply just export export setup strategy, and now we will import it in here. Const setup strategies required what strategy, okay. What we have to pass in that function is that we need to send strategies config, callback, and auth URL, which are belong inside this object. This strategies, this client id and secret id is a config, and this callback URL and another callback function. Let's create the callback function. Const OAuth callback, right? What it receive is that this will just receive this access token, refresh token, and profile. Simply copy this part, paste inside this, okay, and it will receive this profile information and return is a profile, okay. And then let's destructure this whole object using the object properties. Objects, and inside this strategies we can grab this whole information by destructuring the one strategies, okay. Just let's destructure strategy, client id, callback URL, and strategies from this strategy, and then let's pass this whole bunch of strategies inside this function. We need one object, and this is the credentials object, callback URL, and this auth callback function, okay. Okay, only this much, and we have to just use whole. Now we don't need any password here. Yes, let's do it here. Now here we don't need any of this, just we have to use is that require slash util slash what password is, and we don't need this here. Just let's just initialize this here, and for the password serialize and serialize, we can use inside this okay. After that, your password is not defined in password, just line 22 password close again, and just to send this, okay, this okay, is working successfully. So if you need another strategy, just add the object like GitHub or any other Twitter, and add their client id, secret id, and callback URL, okay. So now we have just added this functionalities, auth callback. Now we have to create the token, and through the token we will validate the user information in our server, okay. After the successful grabbing the informations through the providers, we'll just send this information as a callback function, and we just do not need this here, and just do not need this here. Google user, we have already created the model. Inside the model we will add some sort of properties, like what we need just now is Google id string, okay. So if you add others provider, you just need to add like GitHub ID, Facebook ID, some sort of properties, so that you can store their provider's ID. Okay, inside the app.routes we have to just create the middleware. So I'll just create a middleware inside this middleware, OAuth middleware. Okay, what is start that? Let's create OAuth. So it grabbed the whole information from requested user. Okay, next const. Okay, we'll also send the informations like PROFL profile, comma, access token and refresh token. Okay, profile from request dot user, and then we'll check, and then if you check, just switch profile dot provider. If case Google, in case of Google, we'll just find one Google ID, whether it is already logged in or not. We have to implement some const user require model user model. Okay, we'll find out the Google ID. If it has already a Google ID information, we have simply asked that you have already that information, just you need to create a token. After that, if Google ID is not present, we'll just create a new profile. Okay, from that profile object, we'll grab its ID, Google ID and email and name. Okay, and send back this whole user information back to the next middleware. In case of default part, default will throw the invalid. And let's just, and we'll use this middleware where inside this route. Let's just export module dot export OAuth. Okay, and we'll use this OAuth to, we'll just OAuth inside this app route. OAuth. Okay, let's just use this OAuth inside this part and token generation. And simply create Google handler, and we'll this inside the controller, and inside the controller we'll create a new route controller. Reset but when the it last const Google auth handler, just bind request response, which will send back a token, like create a new token and just ZFT user.id request.user.id and use the ZFT expires in, yes, go back to the ZFT expires. Okay, and sends back the token with user information. And we'll also export, what we'll export, Google auth handler. Instead of auth handler, we can just name is for best option will be auth handler. Auth handler, and you will name this auth handler, and inside that controller we will name is auth handler, and here with it we use this middleware inside this password authentication function. We just have to use outside this part. Okay, Okay, we just simply said before that we are not going to use any express sessions handler. We will use a JWT based authentication in our authentication. So we'll remove all type of session handling like serialization and deserialization in our auth handler. Okay, so for that in the route part we'll just add information like redirect to false and session equal to false. Okay, this will just do not use any session strategies. Start and profile and there is email. Just it again localhost your stranger continue. The user will since path is required, username is required. Okay, we'll just add mongoose properties. Username should not be use your property and include this property. Okay, and inside this middleware where middleware you use user instead of name you can use user. Let's do it again. Localhost go your strings are continue assignment to the line number of 11. Okay, let's do this. Let finally now this code should work, otherwise it will be very bad. Okay, now it's working. So this whole information is coming from the Google and we created a token in our own server and send back to the client. Okay, through this token we verify this whole bunch of information. Just notice that we do not need any types of password to fill up for a login and sign up credentials. We only just need a Google ID simply to verify the whole bunch of information. Okay, so this is how an OAuth is implemented in Node.js. So furthermore, if you want to add new strategies, just you can simply add other strategy by adding some object. Yeah, okay, for example, I have just already implemented a GitHub strategy. I just add GitHub GitHub and callback URL GitHub URL. We just need client ID, GitHub client ID, GitHub secret key. So I already created a new GitHub new GitHub OAuth profile. So through this I can grab this client ID and client secret code. Okay, the Google secret key and callback URL. So just in case I now have to implement this callback URL. Okay, in the route folder at the route I will simply add what I have to add is just path route dot get slash GitHub. Okay, what will this is password the authentication GitHub, use username mail and okay, and another callback URL dot arrow ut route just GitHub and GitHub slash callback and authenticate GitHub and okay, and in the inside we have to install the package like what we have to install is GitHub OAuth package npm. Okay, and after that we have to import this package inside this part and GitHub strategies. Now all set. Sorry, npm start. So for this middleware part we can add another case like case in case of GitHub use this following implement the auth logic of GitHub here. So I'll just simply copy paste this information. I'll just paste this information. I have already adjusted this. I'll provide this whole bunch of code in GitHub repo, so you can check it out from there. So this is how authenticate GitHub authentication is done. Okay, if I run this slash GitHub, just add is redirect to API login and session is false. Localhost, sorry, localhost GitHub. Access token is not defined. S6 token is not defined in middleware 26. Put an access token. The next, you didn't do any next type of next color function. Okay, let's do it. One last chance. Okay, this is the final one. Google GitHub. Okay, so from the GitHub also we can log in, and it provides the token and verify this token using our JWT verify middleware. Also this Google authentication both authentication works properly. Okay, so for I already said, further more addition of other strategies, you can just simply add the object and in the auth middleware, so make your own auth handler function, like respect to providers. I have implemented for the GitHub part this, and other Facebook or other Twitter part, you can just add the case, and through that you can modify some sort of data and add to the database. Okay, so this much for in this video. We'll discuss with further more topic in the next video. So you can just comment down whatever project should I make. You can suggest one. I will try to implement it in here. Okay, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye. We'll see you in the next video.